he just told me like just being a point guard is almost like you have to be that leader, you have to be that vocal push on the team. So I just took advantage of it, just using my voice. I feel like I put enough work, like everybody else on the team, to use my voice and just the extra stuff I do outside the court and on the court, and just maybe just one part of the captain.
What did it feel like the first time you were in there?
It was a new experience, especially like guys that are like 4 or 5 years older than you. So just talking to them with respect, just know like even though I'm trying to win, it still comes with respect. But for respect and manner, still I love as my brother. So at any time they can yell at me or I yell at them, either or, it's just that style of respect.
How do you personally want to try to lead this team? What do you think your leadership looks like on this team?
Just showing on and off the court, just the way Ohio State should be represented. Just character, respectful, have a bunch of humility about yourself. So I feel like we have those characters. We still feel like really good.
Has any of that, do you feel, been lacking to this point in the year?
I don't feel like it has been lacking, but I just feel like it's been inconsistent that time. I feel like we do a way better job. But just where I come and just say my voice and how I feel about certain situations. And I feel like when we come together, it will all come about.
What is kind of your message or your thoughts on what's going on right now this past month for you guys, and what do you think has changed?
It's been rough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm say a lot to you, but I feel like you still have the opportunity to do things that you still want to do. We just gotta take it every day. Every day we just stay in the moment. Just take every day that we have. Can't look too far ahead. You definitely can't look in the past. So I feel like we take it one day at a time. I feel like we have every chance like everybody else.
At the beginning of the season, I asked Coach Holtman if you would be a potential captain, and he said he didn't want to put that on your shoulders because you're a freshman. How much extra responsibility is that and he said you're not a captain in name, but like you're in the meetings, like maybe stopping short of calling you an actual full-on captain. But like what does that feel like as a freshman to have that on your shoulders, to have that?
It comes with a lot. You just make sure you got to stay on top of things at all times. Just being that leader, just being that captain. Just looking at Hope, you always make sure his stuff is accounted for. Make sure he's ready for practice, game plan, the film. So this means just looking at him as a leadership standpoint, make sure I just have all my stuff together, make sure I'm ready to go at anytime he calls for us or any assistant coach. So just being ready at all times. I feel like that's the main thing.
He's also talked about in the last couple of weeks encouraging you to maybe take 1 or 2 more chances a game. And he's not talking about just like shooting, but just trying to, how is that explained to you? In what ways do they want you to see you doing more?
Just me being more aggressive. I see it at practice because you want me to transfer to a game. I had a lot of talks with them just being straight up with me, and that's the only thing I would rather my coach would want to be. Just to be very transparent with what he sees and how he feels about certain situations. And most coaches will do it, but I really respect them. I have much love for them just doing that. But they really didn't have to do it. They just being straight up and just let everybody know this is how you feel. So all you gotta do is just put it on the court.
Do you think, were you playing more aggressively at the beginning of the season?
I feel like I was, personally. I took a little drop. I just need to take ownership of how I've been playing. Hit a little slump, but I'm just keep digging, keep taking one day at a time to just get out of it.
What sparks something like that, or where did, like, when you start looking at what you did in the season, like where does that become challenging, I guess, to keep that level of aggression you had at the beginning of the season? Where do you feel that started to slip?
It's hard. I'm definitely playing the Big Ten, scouting everything. You go to a whole different level. So it just means just staying confident, stay aggressive throughout the whole thing. That's just the main thing with me. Just because as a point guard, just you being aggressive and confident, everybody still has to watch out for you as well as still being that facilitator. So you really just found the balance for all three. I feel like we'll be all right.
How much of the wrist issue bothered you this past month? How's that now?
The wrist, it did bother me a lot. I couldn't really shoot like I wanted to, so I was almost I was down. I almost had a very restricted for shooting and stuff like that. So it did take a toll on me, but I wouldn't say that's the whole reason why I've been this little issue.
Are you 100%?
I'm 100% now. I'm just feeling back. Got my strength back in my wrist and everything, so I'm good to go.
Is some of that the freshman wall that they talk about, just how many games you guys play? You mentioned the scouting and obviously the increase in level, just getting used to that as a freshman.
It definitely hit me. And then you get to a point where you start doubting yourself. And so for me personally, it just took me some maturing, especially they mentioned me in the captain and stuff. So you need to keep my head high, take one day at a time. I know eventually if I keep working, do everything what I do every single day, I get out of it eventually. So every day I'm just going in practice today and just make the best of it and get ready for Wisconsin.
Does it help your confidence that you hit some of those struggles, but Coach Holtman still believes in you enough to put you in some of those leadership roles?
Oh, definitely for sure. He still had that same confidence, the coach staff, everybody on the team still had that same confidence in me, in high and low. So that's the most reassuring thing you can hear from your coach, even though you're down, especially when your teammates right behind you. So I feel very confident in the next game we play against Wisconsin.
Bruce, you mentioned team scouting you. What different things have you been seeing recently compared to the start of the year?
Just playing in the Big Ten, you just see different stuff happen different nights. You just never know who's gonna win, just never know who's gonna lose. So you gotta be ready at all times playing in this conference. And I found that the hard way, because if you're not prepared, not ready to play, it can get ugly fast.
You mentioned your teammates being behind you and whatnot. With Bryce, how do you feel like you two have gelled and your chemistry on the court together since it is a good way for the season? How you guys gel together?
Bryce on a phenomenal run. I don't feel like many people really expect him to do all this, but I'm proud of him, right behind him every single time. I hope he keep playing like this to finish the end of the season. He's been working and he put a lot of time in, so he's just showing y'all what he's been putting in throughout this off season and during the regular season. So.
You ever remind him you're a big part of the reason why he's here?
Nah, he's helping us in so many different ways right now. I'm just glad he's on our team.
Offensively, as a unit, we've talked a lot the last couple of weeks about ball movement and just trying to get better in that regard. And you just talked about like trying to be more aggressive yourself. But what will it take for this team to get back to some of the early season ball movement that we saw when even you guys were racking up higher assist numbers and the offense was flowing better?
Just as a team, you just watch the film how you just gotta see yourself in the mirror and see if I'm really doing it. At times you watch film, you're like, dang, I'm not really moving it like we used to. And you start comparing it. So some of the past things can't really help you in the future. You just to look at it, what you need to work on, what you need to get back to. But like it's all good for us just to see we need to move on, look from the past, and just throw it out and just move on. What we gotta work on now.
Was there a specific moment where you felt like you really hit that freshman wall you're talking about, like one a week or something like that in particular?
It really hit me probably after the Maryland game when we lost. Like hit me, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling myself. It was a wall. I thought I was gonna get out of it, but I really had to take some time to myself just to figure out what was going on. Had a conversation with the coaches, and just me to this day still trying to figure it out and trying to get out of it. I feel like when I got my coach and teammates behind, I feel like I had every opportunity just to be the best me every day. So.
Is it like you're feeling like burnt out, or like just the long grind of the season, something you haven't felt before?
Probably the grind of the season for sure. Just playing this long, just working out, just consistently make sure you're doing something every single day. So as a freshman, you're not used to so many games that you've done type thing, but you got still extra games. Then you got Big Ten, then you got the NCAA tournament and stuff ahead of us. But stuff like that, as a freshman, it doesn't get worn down. But the how you got to mature real fast in this league just to play in the next game.
What do the coaches say to kind of help you out of that or encourage you through that time?
They just be real with me and be very transparent to tell me what's really gonna happen. Just tell me like you're never gonna be 100% for the rest of the season. Just playing in this tournament, just playing in this league as well, and also the tournament. Just like you're gonna have to be ready. You're not gonna be 100%, but you always gotta be ready to play the next game. So.
Even if you're not 100%, what do you have to do? Where do you have to dig deeper to be 100% and play at your best, even if you're not fit?
That's where the mental side, just all the stuff you don't really see. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you eat the right stuff. All the small things that you really not accounted for really play a big part. We had to talk about that. Make sure you're eating the right foods, stuff like that. Make sure you watch enough film on who you guarding. Make sure you just do all small little details, and I feel like that will separate you in the long run.
The right food. What's the right food this week?
Like just now, I just had like some tuna fish and like granola bar right before practice. The guy just had a workout, so stuff like that. Like if I had like a chicken sandwich, it'd be a whole different story. You feel like that wouldn't help you, but next thing you know, it prevents certain small little injuries and stuff like that. So things like that really separate you.
Thanks, Bruce.